On the genocide question, it's funny that he kind of patronizingly says, these genocide scholars, they didn't give you the definition. And you rightly said, what's the definition? And he said, forcibly destroying a whole population. That is not the definition of genocide. The 1948 Genocide Convention gives us the definition of genocide. Article 2, it says very clearly that genocide is any of the following acts with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, religious, racial, or ethnic group. And one of those acts, killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to the group, inflicting conditions of life on a group that cause its physical destruction, preventing births within that group, and taking children away from that group and giving it to another group. 5 conditions. Israel's met at least 4 of those 5 conditions by any sane description of what they've done in Gaza. It is a genocide based on those conditions. The Israelis are saying it's a genocide. Just listen to what they say. They say genocidal stuff all the time. And here's the worst part. Israeli, he brushes over the IAGS, some organization I've never heard of. Well, I'm sure they don't care that he's never heard of them. They are the International Association of Genocide Scholars. But let me just give for your listeners actual people who say it meets the definition. People like Omar Bartov, who is an Israeli Holocaust historian at Brown, wrote a New York Times op-ed saying it's a genocide. Daniel Blattman, Amos Goldberg, Israeli Holocaust historians at Hebrew University, they say it's a genocide in Gaza. Shmuel Liederman, all these Israeli scholars, Raz Siegel, none of them, by the way, all of them said, we didn't think it was a genocide at the beginning, but we definitely think it's a genocide now. These are Israeli Jewish experts on the Holocaust. They're saying it's a genocide. Are we supposed to just ignore them?
What determines a genocide? And the reason I ask that question is because I feel like most war can be classified as a genocide.
It's the intent, right?
Okay.
So if you express intent to destroy this group because of who they are, because of their national, ethnic, religious, racial characteristics, that's what makes it just a war, like the Iraq invasion. Killed maybe 1 million people. But no, most people don't accuse George Bush of a genocide because the goal was probably oil, security, whatever you want to say, it's protecting Israel. It wasn't to destroy Iraqis for being Iraqis. But here the Israeli government is saying, we want to destroy Palestinians. We want to wipe out Gaza. We want to disassemble Gaza, to quote Bezalel Smotrich, leave it in piles of rubble. And it's so interesting when you talk about intent and what makes a genocide. It's not about killings. Ben Shapiro says that the Chinese are guilty of genocide in Xinjiang against the Uyghurs, right? And I agree with him. I think it is a genocide in Xinjiang, but they haven't mass killed the Uyghurs. They've locked them up in camps. They've tortured them. They've prevented them from using Muslim names. They've broken down mosques, intent to destroy a group. But they haven't mass killed them like in Gaza. But Ben says it's a genocide in Xinjiang. That's weird. He says Syria is a genocide, even though Bashar al-Assad didn't say anything as close to genocidal as the Israeli government. Bashar al-Assad killed around 1 to 2% of his population over 10 years. Netanyahu has killed minimum 3% of the Gaza population in less than 2 years. So why is Syria a genocide and not Gaza, Ben?